Welcome back to Coding the Sounds of Music. In this video, we will do Challenge 9, where we code 2 bars of the song Twinkle from the music written on a 5-line staff. Boy, we've come a long way since the beginning. We've learned what sound is, microphones, speakers, how the human ear works. We've learned what a metronome is and what tempo is and how to calculate beats per minute. We've learned how many beats are in different kinds of notes, quarter, half, and whole. We've learned about tones and frequencies and notes on the musical scale and the 5-line staff. Boy, we've done a lot of things. We get to apply it all in this last challenge. So take a moment to pause your video now and navigate to Challenge 9 Background. Resume your video when you're ready. Challenge 9. The musical staff is often divided into equal measures using a vertical bar. Sometimes these measures are just called a bar. Well, a bar typically contains 4 beats. And we can see from the 2 bars of Twinkle that there are indeed 4 beats in each bar. The left-hand first bar has 4 quarter notes, and each quarter note is 1 beat for a total of 4 beats. And the second right-hand bar has 2 quarter notes, that's 2 beats, and 1 half note, which is also 2 beats for a total of 4 beats. So let's program 2 bars of Twinkle. Let's go to the next page. Control, click pad to the right. Let's take a moment to review the concepts from the previous pages of the TNS. These concepts we will need to apply to this challenge to write the first 2 bars of Twinkle. Remember, the metronome is a device based upon a swinging pendulum that helps to keep the tempo. That's how you tap your foot to the music, and that the tempo is used to calculate the time interval for 1 beat. Remember that we calculate how long a beat lasts by using the trusty formula 60 divided by the beats per minute. That is the number of beats in 1 60-second interval. There are 3 notes, the quarter, half, and whole. The quarter note gets 1 beat, while the half note gets 2, and the whole note gets 4 beats. These notes are placed on a staff. The 5-line staff can be remembered using the mnemonic, "Every good boy does fine," and that tells us what note it is. We also will recall face. This helps us to remember the tone of the notes when they're placed in between the lines. When a note does not fit on the 5-line staff, it may be positioned below it. In this case, we see C4 and D4. Let's apply these concepts to writing our program for the first bar of Twinkle. I'll leave the second bar for you to do. Let's first calculate how that 6/10 of a second is in a quarter note. To do that, I press the scratch pad button. I enter my trusty formula 60 divided by 100 beats per minute, and I choose Control Enter to give me the value 6/10 of a second. Great. Press Escape. And there you can see where this note came from, 6/10 of a second for a quarter note. All right, I remember how to do that. Good. Now, let's look at the first bar of Twinkle and look at the kinds of notes that are placed on the 5-line staff. Well, remember, this is a quarter note, and so are these other 3. So those quarter notes are positioned on the 5-line staff, and I need to figure out what note is associated with them when I look at their placement on the staff. So the first two notes have a line through them and they are below the 5-line staff. So I know that those are C's, and the reason why is because every good boy does fine going up the 5-line staff. And since this is one line below it, this would be a C, because it would be C, D, and then E, and E is my first line down here of every. So these are both C's. And then again, since these two notes are placed on this second line, these are G's, because every good, and so these are G's. So I need to write code for two C's followed by two G's, and they're each quarter notes, which means they're each 6/10 of a second. So let's go to the next page and write this code. Control ClickPad to the right. Let's use the ClickPad to go down a line, and let's put in our first note, a quarter note of C4. To do this, I'll go to Menu, number 8, Hub, Built-in Devices, Sound, and Note. I want a C4, so Shift, the letter C, and the number 4. I'll press Tab for my time. It's a quarter note, so that's 6/10 of a second. ClickPad once to get outside of the parenthesis and enter to go to the next line. And now let's put our sleep in there to give the innovator time to play the 6/10 note. To do that, I'll go to Menu and Hub and Commands and Sleep, and I'll put in 0.6. Again, I'll go to the outside of the parenthesis, click once to the right, and enter, and I'll put in my next sleep of 1/10 of a second. Now remember that we said you can combine these if you want. In fact, you might even want to change them a little longer or a little shorter, or maybe see what it sounds like without them. It's up to you. You're the creative person here, and you're going to make this song sound the way you want it to. So I'm going to go to Hub for my sleep, and Commands and Sleep, and I'll put in my 0.1. Now I'm going to show you a little trick here. I'm going to go outside, click once to the right, and I want you to try to copy and paste these 3 lines. That'll help you in coding this. To do that, you're going to hold down your Shift key and press the ClickPad to the left to try to highlight all of this. So you're going to press your Shift key and then ClickPad and go to the left, and then you can go up and grab this whole thing. Once you have it selected, and you can tell by the blue highlight, to copy, press Control and the letter C for copy. This is the same key combination as your computer. Then use the ClickPad to reposition your cursor to the line where you want to paste it, and press Control and the letter V to paste it. Well, holy smokes, that saved us a lot of time. There are my 2 notes of C4. Well, you know, it doesn't really take much to change it to a G4, so I'm going to press Enter, and I'm going to paste that code again, Control and letter V. And all I really need to do is edit the C to a G. Well, that's pretty easy, so I'll use my ClickPad to go up, then a little bit over, and I'm going to get to just the right side of that C and press Backspace and replace it with an uppercase G. All right, well, I've done that once, so again, let's use our ClickPad and let's go down here and let's just hit Control V and do that whole thing again. And boy, I'm going to be about finished here. This is going to be lickety split. Control V to paste it, and again, I'll use my trackpad to go up there. And I'm going to hit the backspace and put in my G, Shift, letter G. All right. So now this is starting to sound like the first bar of Twinkle. Let's give it a try. I'm going to grab my hub and bring it up to my microphone and press Control R. Well, it does sound like the first bar of Twinkle. Wow. All right. Well, what I want you to do now is to pause your video, and I want you to try to write the next bar of Twinkle. Pause your video now and resume when you're finished. I trust your coding went well and that your first 2 bars of Twinkle sound like the simulation in the previous video. Well, congratulations, you have learned a lot about coding the sounds of music. You are now armed with the necessary skills to be able to look at a basic piece of sheet music and to create code to play that music on your TI Innovator Hub and calculator with Python. Please stay tuned for our next video, which is optional. If you want to learn how to write songs in a more sophisticated style of Python, please go and check it out. I'll see you there.